Hey there, I'm Ben Mankiewicz, and I'm back with writer-director Henry Jaglom, a close friend and collaborator of Orson Welles, to talk more about the film we just saw, Citizen Kane, and Welles in general. You actually, and you could be honest about this,
I can?
you wanted to...
You're allowing me to be honest?
I'm granting you a moment of honesty.
Okay.
Henry. Which movie, if we could have shown, and we have F is for Fake coming up, but if we could have shown any other Welles movie, you would not have chosen Citizen Kane.
No, just because it's so well known,
right.
Just because so many people have seen it. And I feel that The Magnificent Ambersons has lost, the public has lost sight of it. And for me, in some ways, this is, scandalous, but it's almost a greater film for me. It is a piece of artwork that is so little known and so little recognized for what it is that I would have liked to share with more people, with your audience who has not seen it.
Well, we do have it on our
Which Orson does not appear in,
right,
but narrates.
Well, let me ask you about that, because he doesn't appear in it. Because in talking about this sort of the legend, the myth of Orson Welles, I think, and I think forgotten in that sometimes, or overlooked a little bit.
It's his acting.
What a good actor.
What a fine actor. Yeah. Well, I directed him in my first movie, which was not an easy thing to get. I flew to New York. Peter Bogdanovich had arranged an introduction. I went up to the top where he had his suite. I knocked on the door. He said, "Who is it?" I told him my name. He said, "What does that mean?" Through the closed door. And I said, "Well, open the door and I'll try to explain it to you." And he opened the door, and he was in his purple silk pajamas, some gigantic grape of a human being. and he said, "Well, what are you here for?" And I said, "I want you to be in my first movie." He said, "Your first movie?" "Well, I don't like to be in people's first movies." I said, "Your first movie was Citizen Kane." And he said, "Well, never mind that. Where's the script?" I said, "Well, it's a part of a magician." And he said, "You mean so you're a director who's never directed anything and you have no script? Get out of here. I'm not interested in hearing. I will not do this." I said, "Well, I've just flown 3,000 some odd miles to speak to you, so I'm going to tell you what I want to tell you." And he said, "Well, I'll sit here then, but I won't listen." And he crossed his arms and looked at the ceiling. I said, "You know, he's a magician. He's a lapsed rabbi. He's like a lapsed rabbi. And he's in Central Park, and he does magic tricks, and he tries to make things disappear. There's one thing that he tries to make disappear, and he can't, until finally he does." And I had no idea what I was talking about. And Orson says, "What is that? What is it that he tries to make disappear?" And I said, "For that, you'll have to do the film to find out the answer to that."
That is a bluff.
And then he said, "Can I wear a cape?" And I knew I had him.
Totally. That is really one of the great bluffs of all. Are you a good poker player?
Fairly.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. Henry, thank you very much. Stick around, everybody. Henry and I will be back to introduce another film directed by and starring Orson Welles, this one released more than 30 years after Citizen Kane.
Tonight on Turner Classic Movies, Orson Welles digs deep in his final film, F for Fake. Then Henry Jaglom takes the helm as director in Someone to Love. And Henry directs a tale of birthdays and eating.
Great Peck,
Judy Garland, Bill Powell, and Myrna Loy.
Errol Flynn.